What makes a heist legendary? It's often not just the riches stolen or the meticulous planning, but the intrigue, danger, and dramatic twists that unfold. Some of the most captivating and dangerous heists in history have involved the Mafia, whose members are known for pulling off high-stakes, complex crimes that often have long-lasting consequences. This video explores the most significant heists linked to organized crime, diving deeper into the stories that have captivated the public's imagination for decades. The Bonded Vault Heist, Providence, Rhode Island, 1975. One of the most audacious heists ever carried out by the mob involved the Patriarca crime family in 1975. The so-called Bonded Vault Heist stands out not just because of its scale, but because it was orchestrated by the very criminals who used the vaults as a safe house for their illicit earnings. The heist occurred on August 14, 1975, at the Hudson Fur Storage in Providence, Rhode Island, where a hidden series of 146 large safe deposit boxes were used to store millions in cash, gold, silver, firearms, and other valuables. These boxes were largely used by the Patriarca crime family and other mob associates to store the proceeds of their various illegal ventures. Robert the Deuce Dussault, a well-known member of the Rhode Island underworld, led a crew of 7 men in executing the robbery. With their identities hidden under the alias Harry, the group was able to deceive the facility's few employees, who were mostly accustomed to minimal oversight due to the association with the mob. The men physically pried open the vaults after failed attempts to drill into them, making off with an estimated $2 million to $30 million worth of cash, jewelry, and other assets. However, the heist quickly unraveled due to the reckless behavior of the robbers. After their successful theft, Dussault and his crew scattered, with Dussault heading to Las Vegas to gamble his share. As the investigation gained steam, a cooperation agreement with law enforcement resulted in testimony that implicated Raymond Patriarca, the head of the Patriarca family, as the mastermind behind the heist. It was said that Patriarca, feeling sidelined and underpaid while serving time for other crimes, orchestrated the robbery to secure additional funds for himself. The Bonded Vault Heist remains the largest robbery in Rhode Island's history and is a perfect example of the mob's internal power struggles, where even those who have already gained immense wealth and control resort to heists to fuel their ambitions. The Lufthansa Heist, New York City, 1978. Arguably the most famous mob robbery in American history, the Lufthansa Heist of 1978 is one of those rare instances where the crime itself became larger than life, partly because of its portrayal in Goodfellas. The scale, the daring, and the tragic aftermath all contribute to the Lufthansa Heist's place in criminal lore. At John F. Kennedy International Airport, 6 members of a criminal crew, including James "Jimmy the Gent" Burke, executed a meticulously planned robbery at the Lufthansa cargo terminal. The target was the high-value room, a space where cash and jewelry were stored before being flown to banks in Europe. The loot was worth over $5 million in cash and $875,000 in jewelry. Interestingly, the plan was first conceived by Peter Gruenwald and Louis Werner, 2 Lufthansa employees who were facing financial strain. They reached out to a network of mobsters, including Henry Hill, who would later become famous due to the movie Goodfellas, and Martin Krugman, a bookmaker with connections to the Lucchese crime family. Burke, a member of the Lucchese family, obtained the go-ahead from Paul Vario, a capo in the same family. The heist itself was executed with military precision. The robbers cut through the gate at 3 a.m., subdued the employees, and managed to empty the vaults without a hitch. A twist came when a second, unplanned shipment of cash arrived, increasing the loot's value beyond what the robbers had initially anticipated. Despite the success of the heist, it was the fallout that made it legendary. The FBI quickly suspected that Burke was behind the robbery, and as the investigation intensified, things went south for many involved. Stax Edwards, the getaway driver, was murdered after he failed to dispose of the van used in the heist properly, drawing attention from the authorities. Over the next few years, the death toll connected to the heist grew as more members of the crew were killed, likely to prevent them from talking. Even though Vincent Asaro, a Bonanno family capo, was eventually indicted in 2014 for his involvement in the heist, the mystery surrounding the event still looms large. Henry Hill, whose testimony against the mob led to numerous convictions, was instrumental in exposing key players involved in the crime. However, Hill himself was not directly involved in the heist, which he later clarified. The tragic irony of the Lufthansa heist is that despite the massive wealth stolen, the participants paid a heavy price with their lives. In total, 14 people connected to the crime were murdered between 1978 and 1987, underscoring the brutal nature of mob life and the lengths to which criminals will go to cover their tracks. The United California Bank Heist, California, 1972. The United California Bank heist of 1972 remains one of the most audacious and infamous robberies in American history, involving the theft of an estimated $9 million in cash, bonds, and valuables. The heist was carried out by a gang led by Emil Dincio, a notorious criminal known for his careful planning and bold execution. The robbery not only stood out for the sheer amount of money stolen, but also for the web of corruption and criminal connections it exposed. Emil Dincio and his crew were not typical street-level criminals. They were methodical and patient. For months, they rented a townhouse near the United California Bank in Laguna Niguel, California, to observe the bank's security routines and monitor the activity of its staff. The crew meticulously planned every detail of the heist, from the best time to strike to the means by which they would break into the vault. This level of preparation was key to their initial success. The plan was bold. The robbers would use dynamite to blast open the bank's vault, a risky but effective method. The vault was reportedly one of the most secure in the region, equipped with high-end alarms and reinforced doors. But Dincio's gang was undeterred. They knew that a traditional break-in would never work. Instead, they used explosives to bypass the vault's defenses. And in the process, they gained access to millions of dollars in cash, jewelry, and bonds. On the night of the robbery, Dincio's gang used dynamite to force their way into the vault. The blast was enough to breach the vault's steel doors, giving the thieves access to the riches inside. The robbers spent hours looting the safe deposit boxes, taking everything of value they could find, cash, jewels, and other assets. They had meticulously planned the heist, but as they filled their bags with stolen goods, they failed to consider one crucial factor: the aftermath. While the crime itself was daring and successful, the robbers made critical mistakes in their efforts to cover their tracks. They didn't adequately destroy or hide the evidence, and they failed to anticipate the thoroughness of the FBI's investigation. This ultimately led to the unraveling of the heist. The gang's inability to properly dispose of the evidence or cover their identities led to a quick investigation by the FBI. It wasn't long before the robbers were caught, and their connections to organized crime were exposed. The case also revealed shocking information about the bank's owner, Earl A. Dreeshen, who was later found to have ties to criminal syndicates. It turned out that the bank had been used as a front for laundering money, and Dincio's gang had simply exploited an already corrupt system. The robbery and its aftermath exposed a larger criminal network that included some of the most dangerous figures in organized crime. The involvement of high-level criminals and the massive amount of money stolen made the United California Bank heist a major event in criminal history. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist, Boston, 1990. Unlike the other robberies in this video, the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist is unique in that it involves art rather than cash or traditional valuables. On the night of March 18, 1990, two men disguised as police officers managed to enter the museum in Boston and tie up the two guards on duty. They spent over an hour inside, stealing 13 masterpieces, including works by Vermeer, Rembrandt, Degas, and Manet, making it the largest art theft in history by both value and scale. The theft was brazen. The men took only the most valuable pieces and carefully removed them from their frames, leaving behind a trail of confusion. The thieves also destroyed critical security footage by taking the videotapes of the surveillance cameras before they left the scene. While there were initial leads, the case soon turned cold. In 1994, an anonymous letter was sent to the museum, offering to return the art in exchange for immunity and $2.6 million. But this lead proved to be a dead end. Over the following decades, the case continued to draw the attention of investigators, art lovers, and the public, with numerous theories linking the heist to organized crime figures. One of the more prominent theories suggests that James Whitey Bulger, the infamous leader of the Winter Hill Gang, orchestrated the heist to fund the Irish Republican Army, IRA. According to this theory, Bulger's ties to the IRA meant that art could be used to buy weapons and other supplies. However, there is no solid evidence to back this theory, and Bulger himself never commented on the crime when he was arrested in 2011. In the years since the theft, the FBI has investigated numerous leads, including the role of Boston Mafia figures such as Robert Guarente and Bobby Donati. While the physical evidence suggests that the mob was involved in some way, no one has ever been convicted, and the paintings have never been recovered. Today, the case remains unsolved, and the museum continues to offer a $10 million reward for the return of the artwork. The stolen masterpieces are often seen as cultural treasures that have been lost to the world forever, making this heist not just a crime but a tragedy for art lovers around the globe. These heists not only serve as chilling examples of organized crime's reach and influence, but also underscore the dangerous mix of greed, power, and betrayal that defines the Mafia's criminal world. From mob bosses orchestrating intricate robberies to the shocking twists that follow, these heists are stories of both hubris and tragedy. The fact that some of the loot from these crimes has never been recovered only adds to their mystique, leaving them as enduring legends in the annals of criminal history.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this.